We're visiting the Lake Wales Art Center, another one of Polk County's outstanding museums. Over 50 artists were given the task of creating a portrait of Sticky Steve Morrison, a community leader who's dedicated his life to nature conservation. The result is an awe-inspiring, breathtaking celebration of a man who continues to touch the lives of those around him today. Here's a look at Sticky Steve, A Home-Brewed Life.
Paul O'Neill reached out to me early last year and said that he had this idea to do a curated exhibit of his friend Sticky Steve. Now, Steve is a local legend here. So I knew that if he was going to curate this art exhibit, it had to take place here at the Lake Wales Art Center. So over the past year or so, Paul and I have been corresponding, but really Paul has done the bulk of the curation of this exhibit, and then my director of programs, Amanda McAllister, and staff ended up hanging the exhibit. So we're really happy how everything turned out. The virtual tour was in partnership with Williamson Photography, and we documented the entire gallery so people can access it on their computer and look at every individual piece of art. And then we have click-through links so they can look at any sort of videos of that artist, and some actually take them to their website. So we're really excited about that opportunity. For all of our guests that aren't so comfortable coming out yet, this gives them a chance to participate.
My name is Paul O'Neill. I'm an artist, hobby filmmaker, and professional firefighter. I met Sticky Steve about 22 years ago. I was freshly graduated from college. He had hired me as an intern to work with him at the Tiger Creek Preserve, which is owned by the Nature Conservancy. And so when I arrived, I started working with him and a lot of other people on the preserve doing prescribed fire. And I quickly realized that he was not an ordinary person. It was evident that his life was filled with meaningful things. He was a beekeeper. He was an artist himself. He was in a band. He played the fiddle. He was a gardener. He had an acre of tropical fruit trees. And he had dedicated, up to that point, his entire adult life to conserving plants and animals. I got the idea for the exhibit about a year ago. I love making art, and I enjoy making short documentary films about other artists making art. And I was watching another filmmaker, and they had an exhibit in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was based on the idea that you got a bunch of artists together, and they all did a piece of artwork on a single individual. Well, I knew a couple artists, and I thought maybe I could pull this off, but I said, well, who would be the subject? And I immediately thought of my friend Sticky Steve. At the very beginning of the project, I approached different artists. I started with a flyer that I would pass around. It eventually evolved into a website, and in the end, we had 64 artists agree to participate in this project. There were no rules. I approached them and said, you can do any type of artwork, any medium, any size, anything. It's totally up to you. And I gave them that freedom to just do what they do and kind of see what comes in. Yeah, so a lot of the artists are local artists, friends, family members, and so it's almost like a homecoming for Steve. He was able to connect with new artists, but also reconnect with old friends. And I think that was a really interesting part of this exhibit. When I first approached Steve for the idea for this exhibit, he was very reluctant. I mean, if you can think about it yourself, how would you feel if you had 64 artists all focusing in on you and drawing you, painting you, filming you? It would be kind of strange, and in fact, Sticky, one of his remarks was, "This is a very strange experience." But I think he quickly realized that it's more than just his image. And in his own humble way, he realized that this is about maybe reaching for something more than who we are. I think his life, he's kind of tried to reach for more than who he can be, and a lot of times reaching that goal. And so I think he was happy with being kind of that point person for this exhibit. And that was kind of the point of the exhibit. You know, we can be more than who we are, and we just have to try. And when you do, sometimes fabulous things happen. I'm a professional firefighter. I'm kind of out of my elements curating an exhibit. It's not something I studied to do. I'd never done it before. But there are some things in life that when you're on the right track, it appears that doors will open that were once closed, and other doors will appear where there weren't doors before. So this exhibit just kind of fast-tracked itself. There's a quote that I like, and it's that people don't have ideas, ideas have people. And the idea for this exhibit had me, and I just went with it. And luckily I have some great friends around me, artist friends, people that can handle logistics. I had a gallery that was willing to host it. Everything fell into line. The exhibit started as kind of a personal thank you from me to Steve for kind of being the type of person to give great examples of how to live a meaningful life. You know, we all need examples of what it means to live a good life. And he just was the perfect person for that. So for me, it was very personal. But as the project continued, it became a very public thank you to Steve. He's such a pillar in the community here, and he's beloved by many. And people were just very anxious to come out and participate. They wanted to be involved with this. And that's a lot of what Steve has always been. He's always been this type of person to bring people together. Not intentionally, but just his manner that he brings people together. One of the main things I like about Steve is when he talks to you, he's talking to you as if he's going to learn something from you, not vice versa. So it was really a great community project.
It's really important to support organizations like ours and other fine arts organizations around the county, because we're providing a lot of creative opportunities, not only for adults like coming to this exhibit, but also our K through 12 education and community outreach, because there are a lot of children that cannot afford to take these classes, and it's the support of our residents that allows us to offer these kind of programs to them for free. We have a new exhibit coming in November. It's an art invitational competition named after one of our big supporters. He passed away this year, Chip Tallberry. So that'll be in November, and then we have education programming online with world-class instructors, and that takes place in early October. And all of that information can be found on our website. I would love for them to come out, check out the exhibit, visit our website, lakewellsartscouncil.org, see all of the opportunities that we have. We have a full season ready to go, some of it virtual, some of it in person in the spring, hopefully. And I just want to thank them for their continued support of our organization.
Sticky Steve, A Home-Brewed Life will be on display at the Lake Wales Art Center until November 6th. For more information on the exhibit and the artists behind it, visit thestickysteveshow.weebly.com. You can also check out lakewellsartscouncil.org for more information on the museum's upcoming programming and exhibits.